Với thọp đó. Heroes Gate. Đi mày. Trong nơi lừa YouTube. Nhóm mới nó làm bay live rồi. Nhóm thử hiệp live đập bay live tới nhóm thử 18 nó mà nhóm tin nhảy căng về cả. Và nhóm mới nông game nhóm record nhóm live giật cả đấy. Cho nó dương ta đã trao ta không khỏi từ người này. Tại này còn.
And may even be implemented in game. The submission period is from July 4th to July 25th, so don't miss out.
Nhóm buôn toàn cả giềng. Nhóm buôn toàn cả giềng vì mà sợ mình. Trong trong khối nó chân chi mỗi bùm trong đã chân chi nè. Chân chi nè. Ấy chứ này bạn buồn toàn cả riêng chào APG APG của tụi bộ nó ấy mơ của tụi bộ nó tới thở ấy bây giờ làm thay lưu dùng này sao rồi nắng ấy sao rồi đăng ta đặt sao rồi ta ở cái chân ra không chăm play sợi bài sợi lư ai mà đây sợi nó việc hăng hăng crom hôn ghê nó ghê sợi mình đắng ngay trong mặt đăng sợi lư ọt cái gì trả trong khối tới trả trong khối ở trong khối cái xua than là cái chứ nè và lơ cái đôi chứ đã tô mùi là cái ban kill môn là cái ban ở kill trời ấy cho nhá trong mơ xua là win mơ là mua nó thả which one win mà bài khoa vào đây mơ win từ mơ option là min win cho nó bây đã cả những đã tạp với năng từ nhưng đã xem đấy win game trả win game nữa nhóm trả là win game đi ACT rồi AVG đang ngay khả năng ngày nay như bật đạo ngày nay như bật đạo cả không
EWC, we lost half them, but this time you won't win us.
Crystal is a very strong team. They got good strategy.
Yang pasti Blackstone Esports adalah salah satu tim yang aku nggak ngincer kayak hadiahnya atau slot ke EWC-nya sih. Aku lebih ngincer untuk prize-nya.
I think they are so good because they drop through the loser bracket and then win against champion.
Noi non abbiamo giocato mai contro di loro nel torneo, però noi abbiamo confidenza di vincere.
한 번쯤은 붙어보고 싶은 생각이 있었는데 이번에 긴장하면서 잘 상대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
I think we can beat them 2-0.
ก็รู้สึกตื่นเต้นครับเพราะเขาเป็นทีมที่แข็งแกร่งพอตัวเลยครับเราก็จะทำให้เต็มที่ที่จะช่วยที่จะชนะเขาครับ
The arena is ours to dominate.
No fear, only fight.
This match will define our legacy. No retreat, no surrender.
Day 2 is here and the energy in Riyadh is just getting started. The Esports World Cup continues and the pressure is building in the honor of Kings Arena. I am Isaac Peña and welcome to the KWC 2025 day 2. With me, Holler, Blam, bringing you the action for today. Holler, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Panelist.
I mean, especially after yesterday where we saw 3 out of the 4 series go the distance in terms of that game 3, proving that all the teams really want it.
Exactly. We had so many good games yesterday. A lot of people thought that we were going to have a lot more of 2-0s, but it was always 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Only 1-2-0 in the whole day. Blam, what are your thoughts on that?
Like I said, I mean, this is a day that's going to be, well, a tournament that you cannot allow just a single best of 3 to drop within your grasp, right? Like, you have to fight tooth and nail to get that best result possible for your team.
And that's for sure, man. Like, the teams already understood that they need to go all in. They have to try their very best. If they want to actually move forward, taking that game 1 is going to be crucial. And yesterday, we saw a lot of teams just taking that game 1, just going all the way until game 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. All of the teams need to win at least 2. That's the magical number. That's what gets them to the next phase. If they lose 2 games, unfortunately for them, they would go home. So again, it's a fight to the finish.
You can see it, man. Like, yesterday was amazing. We had so much energy. Alpha 7 first taking a victory against Loops, and then we moved forward through all the 4 games, isn't it?
Exactly that. I mean, like, we saw great battles yesterday, like you were saying earlier, Isaac. I mean, it's just one of those days that was an amazing way to kick off KWC, and I don't think today is going to be anything less, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. You can see it on your screens, right? Like the recap from yesterday. It was full of upsets. Pulse Gaming taking a 2-0 right over there against Blacklist. That was, what do you think? Was it on your cards?
I mean, look, we knew Pulse Gaming was going to be very good. They really showed up. That was the most convincing win in terms of that series. I mean, that was an amazing game. And I mean, very quick games at that.
Very quick.
It was fast, right? On the other hand, like, we saw a lot of fighting.
Yes.
Faster to the assassin. Oh my.
They just started throwing punches, man. Like, it
But
was
now
just a lot of fun. Just seeing them, like, what strat, man? Like, just put your hands up and just throw some hits.
Yeah, I mean, all of the teams are kind of throwing haymakers at one another. I mean,
Thầm thở big man kìa đấy.
Yesterday, it almost seemed personal at
Thầm
times.
thở
I
big
mean, especially
man.
with that first series, you had the Brazilians, and then the second one with the Indonesians, and you saw a bit of an upset as Dominated Esports losing to Team Vitality. That was a great series, though.
Yeah, 3rd seed losing to 2nd seed. I mean, it was obviously the step up of John Q and San as well. Obviously, his Marco Polo in one of those matches was absolutely phenomenal. Like, it wasn't there to completely sort of run down the enemy team. It did enough to start the fight. It like right down like their hells, and then the rest of the team could just collapse and just capitalize on that.
Do you think that the teams for today, they have learned a lot from what they saw yesterday here in the performances?
I think so. I think so. I mean, you're always going to see teams that are kind of, you know, doing a little scouting report, cheating a little bit on their homework, just trying to see what those other teams are there. But of course, we've kind of split things up where each of the groups will play in a single day. So if anything, they need to be watching today's matches and to see what those opponents will be bringing to them.
Sao mình làm sạch? Tại sao khó nó
Like, it's everyone already, like, the energy is off the roof, man. Like, everyone is just getting ready. Right now, we have everyone just already warming up. But before we start with today's action, we've got prepared for you a VCR explaining everyone how everything is going to work out. So the tournament format right over here, we're going to have 4 groups. We already saw the action from Group A and Group B yesterday, and today we're going to be moving to C and D.
Nhà đang CD chẳng group ơi.
It's going to be a ACT versus APG.
Mà sao mấy AB nhà đang CD dân đến đang đây tầng sai dương đo bằng chặt.
Finish it out. Who's going to be in that upper bracket, which is going to be ever so key moving forward.
Ever so key moving forward.
Anh nói thật khó á.
That's what all the teams were fighting for, was to get to that upper
À lợi này cái lên về Australia ra nè. Cái lên về Australia hai bên kia từ lên nóទៀត.
That last chance seems like bad news, isn't it?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I mean, it's going to be like, if you get to the lower part of that one, you are not advancing to the same pool as obviously the KPL teams. You could be the victim of the KPL teams.
Yeah, it's actually kind of scary.
No
I mean,
playoff.
Like that elimination.
Team tranh no playoff no PK hử. PK hử team lặng tới lửa hào.
That is totally true, man. Like, we just saw how the format is going to be working.
Hiền, à lợi nó kia nơi chùm rút lội xanh tê à lợi nó ngọt. Còn tay bà team tranh nó hủi pi team ca chùm rút nó ngay.
Welcome to the honor of King's World Cup 2025.
Cho vào cái trong tranh kia hủi pi chùm rút nó ngay kia mày tay chùm rút. Cái invite cái đợt invite.
In week 1, we have groups, group kings, and last chance. And in week 2 is where the playoffs begin. In the group stage, 16 teams will be split evenly into 4 groups. They will then go through a double elimination bracket through best of 3 matches to become the top team and get their spot in the playoffs. These 4 teams, known as the Group Kings, will then go through one best of 3 match to determine their position on the playoffs bracket. The second place teams from the group stage will have their shot at redemption in the last chance phase. Here, these 4 teams will go through one best of 5 match each, and only 2 will win and prove their worthiness for the playoffs. That's all the action to expect in week 1 of the Honor of Kings World Cup 2025. It's time for victory.
Everyone wants to make it to Group Kings. Making it to Group Kings already puts you in a place where, you are already top 8 in the world of Honor of Kings.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a huge honor, right? I mean, being in Kings is way better than being in Legends, so this is where you want to be.
Exactly right. I mean, definitely some of these teams that were here last year didn't even get anywhere to the top 8, and they're already looking like they're in positions within the upper bracket to beat where they were last year in the EWC, right?
I'm talking about brackets. Well, we have today Group C and Group D. And that is the way that it's going to be working. Twisted Minds against Nova Esports are going to be clashing it out to see who's going to make it through, and Kagendra against Black Shrew Esports as well.
Yeah, I mean, both of those series are going to be bangers. Those are beginning the second half of today. I think that it's going to be super exciting. I'm actually very interested in Twisted Minds Nova one, but we're going to talk about Group D first.
Yes, Group D. I mean, you were just quoting on
that. Alpha Gaming, ACT, APG មួយ ACT, OG មួយ Nongshim.
ACT, the first game of the day. And then the reason why we're on the broadcast here, Hola, OG Esports, KMW, second place, even though they were the Giants, going against KME Nongshim Red Force, the first place. I mean, this is going to be a battle that we're going to be absolutely loving.
I mean, is it even going to be a challenge? I mean, your second place team from KM West, they're not even the first place team, and they're going in on this one. East side, best side.
East side is definitely not the best side. I mean, if Season 3 Invitational had this match, Nongshim would have been second place.
Oh, please, please.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a day full of this. What you just saw in the last 20 seconds, you're going to have 4 hours of this, and it's going to be 8 hours in total for today's matches, but we're going to have 4 amazing games that hopefully are going to bring up the top level competition that we, Saudi Arabia and the whole world is expecting.
Yeah, and actually, I'm actually more excited about this first one to kind of set the tone. Where do these teams really belong in the grand scheme of things? APG, a lot of expectations, the third place team in the MKL, and then of course ACT, the third place team in the Philippines.
Well, let's talk APG, man. What about if we just start right now, just jumping into the game 1? Alpha Gaming, the 5 men that we have right over there are going to be representing their club, trying to move forward.
Yeah, so up into the clash lane, we have Daohen. Into the jungle, we have Hu Long. We have PHY into the mid lane. JD and Saber are cozying it up into the farm lane. And this has been the third place team of the MKL. On their good days, they are great. But on some days, they just can't quite get the formation they need. But I feel like with all the preparation they've had up until this point, this could be a
Tại nó với tia tia na cái lại tia thôm năng mà tia tôi chọn là tia cạn không.
You could say just saying that sometimes they're amazing, sometimes they're that amazing. What do you think it is?
I think it is more of the fact that Yulong and JD had joined this year.
Yeah.
So the synergy, the coordination is not all there yet. Sometimes, again, to Bland's point, they're brilliant. They're absolutely amazing, and there's a reason why they're here. But
of course,
the fact that they still haven't worked out some of the kinks, they still kind of get out of position at times. They kind of go a little bit solo, and they get caught out at certain moments.
I know that someone that is going to be really looking forward that they do not have an amazing game today, that they do not have an amazing day, is going to be this team right over here, ACT Esports Club. Look at them, Switch, Flukeo, Shy, JC1, Ormson. That's going to be the formation that is going to be looking to really make the upset today. And I'm going to put that word out there, upset.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a team that was 5th place in the PKL in the regular season. There were the expectations were like, can they beat an Elevate? Can they beat a Rough World KD? But they were up to the task. They knocked out both of those 2. They ended up securing their spot into the final slot in that third one, but they're very young. And of course, it's on the back of Flukio. He had 5 MVPs in the playoffs. This guy is an absolute beast. Watch out for him.
Lamb?
One to watch indeed, but I mean, I think it's the journey of this team that's even more kind of exciting, especially for those at home who are watching Honor of Kings right now and have any kind of aspiration of getting into the competitive scene. This is a team that got all the way to the KWC through the Open Series. So that if that's any proof that you need that you can get 5 friends together, and if you play well, you gel well, you can be on this stage next year.
Isn't that the dream, man? Isn't that the dream that you are at home and that you're playing with your friends and then you just go through the Open Series, make it all the way through from home to here, to the stage in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
My problem is that I would love to play in the Open Series, but I actually don't have 4 other friends.
Wait, you have friends?
No, shots fired, buddy. Shots fired. I thought we were friends.
Only on the gorge. Only on the gorge.
All right, we can already see the BP is going to start with the bans. The first round of bans is already grayed out, and the choices for the game are starting.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing very Dharma-eccentric sort of bans in the first phase of all the games yesterday as well. And I mean, Lejong Wei here, Saber loves this pick, but doesn't want to pick it up for themselves. Obviously, this is also going to be against Ormson. This was one of his big picks. And you don't really want to be going against Lejong Wei in game number 1, especially all the assets that this pick gives. Obviously, the Unbridled Outburst really can upset such great teamfight potentials. But we're looking at the power couple in here, the Princess Frost and the Liang.
A very strong combination, right? Very difficult. The lockdown, the potential just gank opportunities right when the Liang hits level 4. You got to watch out for that. But I think the biggest thing from Alpha Gaming is they start out with the Lung. They understand that in the PKL, the Lung was actually the most picked hero, and they're trying to take it away, especially in these best of 3s where, again, every single game matters.
Every single game matters. I mean, the Arlie being taken off the board there as well. He's another, obviously, tier 0 marksman into the farm lane. We are seeing here, okay, the control, like you were saying there, the control of the Princess comes through on a level 4, right? So these activate at level 4. Let's look at the second ban phase here. Agudo being banned out here. Obviously, very nicely into these 2 picks.
I'm telling you, man, like that Princess Frost and Liang, that's got to be meta. That's got to be the meta right now. We've seen already yesterday teams using that combo and already just taking wins. ACT, they did their homework, they watched the game yesterday, and they're trying to prove us today that they can turn the things around.
But in the same way, Alpha Gaming, if you're kind of looking at what they do, it's like, yeah, the Liang has that control, but he's very static. He's like a statue, and it makes it very easy for the newer, the moats with the Cannon Blast to kind of disrupt that. So you have that counter pay, but Alpha Gaming, the issue right now with their draft is that they're very much on the squishier side of things.
They are on the squishy side of things, but they still have those last 2 picks, right? I mean, we're looking at the jungle pick, and we're looking at up into the Clash lane, right? I mean, we still have the likes of the Byron up onto the board. Will we see that Pei Byron pick come through? Pei actually being banned up to the top side there. First ban of ACT. So we're probably going to look at something that is going to come through a little bit different here. So Flowborn Marksman coming through for KWC. We had Tank yesterday. We're getting Marksman today.
Yeah, actually, this is I think, the first time we've seen it on the at least the global stage. The Tank yesterday. So this is going to be very interesting to kind of play out here. What are your thoughts on this hero just overall? I know it's been ruining ranked games throughout, but I mean, to bring it in with the synergy, especially with this like the Ogrin as well.
I love the pick, but it's squishy. It's very squishy in the early game. When the power spikes come through, it's kind of like a Shoyu. So it comes on activated around about level 13 as when you got the itemization. The amount of damage that Flowborn can do to your turrets is absolutely nuts. But looking over to Alpha Gaming here, they've got the Sunset and they've got the Jing. So a lot of catch-up potential, a lot of setup, a lot of responsibility.
My question right now is going to be, is that Flowborn going to be able to survive with so much initiation coming in from Alpha Gaming? Like the positioning of that Flowborn during team fights is going to be critical to be able to see that.
Oh, very critical. I mean, that's where a lot of the damage is going to come from. I mean, Ogren can do the damage. He has to get that point into the game first, but he also needs to build items like Eye of the Phoenix, the Burning Cape as well, to actually survive these fights also. But Byron being locked in here is going to be that kind of engaged potential for the side of ACT. But like you were saying there, Isaac, is that I feel like they are going to go and pick off the Flowborn down to the bot side of the map, especially with picks like Sunset. Using that set sail ultimate can get from one side of the gorge to the other with like 0 to 90.
What's going to be the critical moment of this fight, Holler? What do you think?
Look, it's going to be about APG, Lung, and of course Yulong's Jing just being able to just pop off, has that mobility. If he gets locked down, then you have the counter initiation. That's where the rest of the Alpha Gaming lineup is going to be about. But it's like, how can they keep those two alive? Because they're going to do so much damage.
A lot of damage. A lot of damage is going to come through within these team fights. I feel like in terms of obviously control, they're really going to be heavily reliant on the Princess Frost and Lil Yang. Yes, we saw yesterday, obviously, Genji, the flash, the suppression combo that can come through for Lil Yang as well. 1 second, you think you're clear of this guy. The next, he's in your face. He's suppressed you. He's locked you down.
Look at that. Like, all the players already just warming up. Look at the speed of those fingers, man. Like, the dexterity is a completely different level. Ladies and gentlemen, the drafts are locked. The Gorge is waiting. Blam, Holler, please, boys, take it from here and let the battle begin.
Okay. The battle is beginning here. It is game number 1 between APG and ACT. Both teams started with A, but somebody is going to have to be the B team by the end of this series.
Which is a little unfortunate. I mean, all of the teams are in that situation. Yeah. There's so much risk, right? Getting dropped down. The GSL format is amazing because of that. But ACT, again, PKL's last hope. All of the other teams have gone 0-2, or they lost. They didn't have a great time yesterday. Hopefully they can bounce back. Daohan has to flash away.
Ooh, I mean, forcing the flash this early on means that they can put a little bit more pressure up into the clash lane. They got to be careful onto the side of APG. Sunset, Daohan not having the greatest. Another flash expanded here by Saber. A little bit too aggressive, don't you think, Holt?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't even been a minute in, and 2 common spells have been expended like that. But again, ACT doing a great job. They need to work around Flukio, letting this man get as much farm as possible. Ormson is kind of babysitting, ensuring that he gets that farm. He is your lifeblood. If you win, it's because of him.
Exactly that. But I mean, instead of also getting farmed, you can get the exclusive frames by watching the KWC, obviously in game, and also with the CDP fight on. You can get some free Brucey bonuses within game. We're seeing the teleportation here into the bot side of the map. The Princess Frost Shy here tried to land the Frigid Prison, didn't quite connect.
Yeah, it didn't quite connect at that point. But again, we got to look at how Yulong is going to be farming. I mean, is ACT going to be able to take away some of those buffs? Hopefully slowing down Jing's progression, because he's going to be wanting to get going. And if he's left alone, you're going to have a bad time.
Speaking of bad times, we've already seen here that Flukio has got the level lead onto Yulong, which is a little bit of a shaky start here for Yulong. We really need that Jing to be fast-paced into the jungle. There's the ride, the win. First blood potential.
What the hell?
Just barely surviving on the annihilation, just barely missing JC1. He was just like, oh man, I'm gonna step and not cross this busy street.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a blindfold moment, right? They put the blindfold on, they just thought, let's just put the praise to B and put down the annihilation. It didn't quite connect. But already between these two teams, there's already a little bit of a difference in the gold resources, right? APG are ahead. They aren't having the most aggressive early game, but they really just need to wait till Yulong gets his footing on this Jing.
But you're seeing exactly how the teams are moving about. ACT has kind of been grouping up, letting Flukio take all of the farm, and just basically funneling everything into him. JC1 hasn't had the greatest of times. If we're looking at him, the lane matchup against JD, he is losing. So it seems like the net worth of APG is being spread throughout.
Being spread throughout, exactly. I mean, onto JD and Yulong, that is going to be their key kind of components within this draft, right? I mean, then PHY can just kind of play his game at the same pace onto the newer and then get that damage towards that mid to late game. So then they have that kind of tertiary damage output for the side of APG. But looking at the itemization, obviously we got the Meteor here going onto JD, so potentially the Axe of Torment or Starbreaker coming through later on down the line.
Yeah, and this is a moment where ACT is a little bit scary. Ormson, I mean, he's level 5. The potential gank, the flash control could be there. So APG need to ensure that, hey, if we're going to move out, we got to be careful that, you know, that potential ambush from any sort of brush is going to be covered for.
Yeah, I mean, we could already see here, obviously, the priority down to the bottom side of the map as well, looking to just make a little bit more of an ease into that neutral objective. At 18 seconds, now slowly counting down, Tyrant could be the thing that could change the whole pace of this early game.
Yeah, and I mean, Flukio doing a great job. You need to steal whatever you can. He took away those boars. I mean, anything that you could take away from APG is going to be great. You want to dictate the pace early, especially in this game 1.
Exactly. You want your best foot going forward, right? ACT representing the Philippines, they need to do something within this game number 1 to set their pace.
Oh, but Tyrant getting very, very low. Flukio will take this, and he gets on out. ACT get away with robbery.
They get away with robbery. I mean, that's going to be a problem here for APG for the next 80 seconds. The side of ACT are going to have the extra little bit of damage, but Yulong is like, hey, if we can't get that neutral objective, we're going to go for that Crimson, which effectively is going to stop the damage output from the Ogryn at this point in the game.
And this comes back to APG's vision game, right? They understood that, hey, both of the buffs were up, and the blue one is going to be picked up by Flukio, so the top one was available for the steal. Yulong took that, and now he's back in his own jungle. This should accelerate his farm quite a bit.
Accelerate his farm, also accelerate JD's
Oh,
damage
the set
output.
sail, they've caught him. The flash away, Ormson staying alive. Shy flashes as well, but here's Yulong looking for the kill, and that's going to be first blood. Yulong makes an appearance at the KWC.
Yulong came in lung there. I mean, he traveled the distance, he got the kill onto Ormson, and the fact is, we saw an ACT JC1 going down there as well.
Yeah, JD was just like, okay, I'll just absorb the Aerostorm machine gun that you've got on me. It doesn't really matter. You cannot get away from him. He had infinite vastness as well, so he knew that he could be in a dangerous position.
Yeah, very overextended. Yes, he exhausted the flash, but it was the flash that got him that kill, right? And even the T1 here, so already we're starting to see that slow early game transfer into such a good part of this game.
Yeah, and Switch backing away, and again, you're just kind of seeing exactly how APG like to play the map. They've been playing things wrong. They've taken the bottom T1 already, the map control, and basically this noose is starting to tighten just a little bit.
Low flow bond match
Tighten
is
a little bit. I
here.
mean, they definitely want to be getting out of that noose,
it's
right?
here
But
and
I
play.
feel like for the side of ACT, if they start punishing, obviously,
Oh, Switch, he just face checked that brush, the force field suppression, not enough, and he tries to get away, but Yulong makes him pay. APG with the surprise in that brush.
Like I was saying there, like we was hoping that Dowhem was going to get punished up into the top side of the map, but it's actually
They're not done. They actually find Shy as well. He's stuck around, and he found out, and the Crimson Golem looking to be stolen away as well. ACT on the defensive, not having a great early game.
Not having the greatest of early games at this point, no. Shy going down, Switch down. I mean, that's kind of going to already put them at a little bit of a disadvantage. I mean, speaking of disadvantages, though, the gold lead is 3K ahead for the side of APG. That's a lot of gold funneled over to Yulong, funneled over to JD.
Yeah, but not only have the map invasion really turned into, you know, like extra buffs and kills and things like that, but they've turned it and converted it into towers. That's less space. Of course, the mid T1 is still standing, so ACT still have that last beacon of hope.
They do have a beacon of hope. They have a means to get in, which is obviously keeping that T1 alive into the mid lane, but obviously we do see the Siege Breaker, the Master Sword being built there onto Yulong. That's going to be a lot of damage coming through at some points within these team fights, but just now we was on about the XP level being ahead for Flukio in the early game. The gold is still near abouts for both of these.
I mean, if you're looking at Flukio, he was kind of given that silver spoon. He was being fed all of that farm. The team was actually sacrificing for him. On the other end, Yulong was like, he will take that farm for himself. He's been greedy, and he's been that entrepreneur, so to speak.
Entrepreneur onto the gorge. I mean, he is the gorge entrepreneur. I tried to do a little bit of a blend there, and it kind of went
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
But yeah, somebody will appreciate that one. But still ahead by 3K gold is APG. But like you were saying, Yulong has definitely, now that he has that means of access into the enemy jungle, he's going ham.
Yeah, it's going to be going ham. And of course, him and as well as JD. JD is starting to get going. He has a 1.6K net worth lead over JC1. I mean, yes, the Flowborn marksman has been new to the game, but it's been tough. Here's the emergence. They're going to go right to the backside. They find Ormson. They get that pick, and they want to go for more. The Annihilation is also going to connect, and that's a double kill going the way of Yulong. And my gosh, Yulong is on another level.
Yeah, I mean, he was straight into the back line. Like, that was crazy. Double kill going up to Yulong. The aggression from JD was enough to put the pressure and take the high ground turret into the top side of the map, which is obviously going to be very punishing for the likes of ACT Switch on the Byron. He's going to be having to try and find those catch-ups by waiting in the brushes, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you win a team fight, you get 2 kills. That turns into a potential T3. JC1 sniped out Yulong, makes the kill and gets on out.
It makes the kill, makes the insta-kill. That was 91% damage within an instant. I blinked, JC1 was there, the next he was gone. But you can already see the ACT, like you were saying earlier, Hola, are just holding onto that last bastion, which is obviously that T1 into the mid lane. That's really what's going to keep them sort of like having a fighting chance. But my problem is the split push potential that we could get in here. The backdoor potential, like we saw in day number 1, could happen in the Clash lane.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much like space that's being taken away away right now. ACT on the defensive. Flukio just like finding whatever scraps he can, and he is at risk, and so the rest of ACT are protecting him, and they want to give him that buff as well.
Yeah, I feel like they got to at this point in the game. They can't let any of their members go astray. I mean, especially JC1. I mean, you can already see here, Yulong's like, right, I've got the timer on the Crimson Golem. I could go and get this, get another easy kill, push the minion wave, but there seems to be a bit of a team fight here, a bit of a brawl into the mid lane, but nicely done by ACT. They have fade off the side of APG for now.
Look at how far back JC1 is. He knows that he can get ambushed at a moment's notice by Yulong and insta-give him at any time. So he has to play it safe, and he's been playing so scared that he actually really can't even leave the base. This is in a very uncomfortable position for ACT.
I feel like he's just heard you all, and he's like, no, I'm risking it. I'm risking it. He's very far away from any kind of help. Liang is down here into the Tyrant of the Overlord objective.
But it's a game knowledge thing. They know that it's going to be 10 minutes. Yulong will be making an appearance to that Shadow Tyrant, so he's not going to be in that position. But here's the emergence. Daohan looking to go ham, goes for the attempt to play, and he finds Switch, and he doesn't care that it's not his base, as it looks like they're going to take the bottom T3 as well.
Yeah, you got to see here that ACT was really hoping to get that Shadow Overlord just to kind of work down that bot side of the map to stop these minions going through to the crystal as they have right now. But this really opens up the pressure for the side of ACT. APG now gets that free mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, look at the top and the bottom T3 is completely empty at this point. This is like a Monty Python skit where it's like, it's just a flesh wound. It's like the middle part is the only thing standing.
Put a bandage on it. Put a bandage on it. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. All good. But no, they've literally got one turret last alive. ACT, yes, they're able to kind of keep themselves afloat into the early game, but now we're getting into that mid to late game, right? Like 11 minutes in, we see that APG went for the Tyrant. They're already ahead. They're not looking at that Shadow Overlord, right? They just want the extra damage. They want the extra movement speed so they can wrap up this game.
Yeah, but look at how they're playing as well. They're so aggressive, and they're just like, again, ACT, they have to huddle around that mid T3, just whatever they can. Yes, the Vanguard will push, provide a little bit of space, but that's pretty much as far as they can go. They really can't get into the heart of the APG lineup.
They really can't. I mean, definitely a solid lineup here. Like, PHY has been very proactive on the Nua, right? Using that emergence to put a lot of pressure onto the side of ACT. They've not been able to catch their breath and not even able to catch kill just yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's just having his way with things. PHY just really, the creation blocks, the annihilation has been really on point. The communication and the synergy of when those skills go off has been on point.
Yeah, you can see here, obviously baiting them with the mirror image there from Yulong onto the Jing. It's like, hey guys, can you catch me? No, you can't. You haven't catch me yet, and it looks like you're not going to catch me just yet. It just seems like they're constantly putting pressure onto this mid lane just to open up the base of ACT once again. But look at that goal difference. It's night and day.
Yeah, really rough at this point. I mean, 8 kills to nothing. ACT not even finding a single one. APG playing a perfect game at this moment. But here's the set sail. He's trying to wind it up. No, he's going to go the long way around. Switch with the force field suppression. He thought he was going to get jumped on, and this mid T3 is under siege. They're looking to go. Ormson has to go golden, but he flashes away, tries to stay alive, but he gets knocked down. JC1 with the first kill onto Yulong, finds it, and the Aerostorm is starting to do some work. Daohan has been killed. He's been seer stated for his troubles, and Flukio is angry, looking to go, and there's 3 members of APG, but he's gonna let him go.
He's gonna let him go. I mean, that annihilation could have probably been just enough to give the aid over to the rest of APG to get the kill, but it wasn't quite enough. So again, already trying to stop and punish the APG. Finally getting 2 kills onto the board, but that set sail into the backline was beautiful. That should have been the game-winning play.
Yeah, it should have been at that point. But I mean, ACT right under the tower. But it was a moment where they potentially could have done it. But again, they lost the mid T3 in that process. Yes, the crystal is there, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to really matter because APG are just so far ahead.
They are very far ahead. I feel like at this moment in time, it's just going to be a few more of those kind of team fights that hopefully give the side of ACT a little bit more room to breathe because they're able to take obviously the team but this could be a very long game if they can.
He was just on a scouting report. He just got killed here, but that's an initial attempt. But now JC1 gets sniped out. And they reset finds him out, and Yulong uses the emergence. PHY looking for that flank. JD finds Ormson. And that's a double, and he wants PHY. He knows that he's strong at this point. It took him some time, but now PHY gets executed.
Flukio went brrrr and took them down. That was a triple kill. That was just
Đây là
like
fail mình nó fail là sao bay hay bị thôi với mình nhá. Nó sao cái mình nó nguyên nó thôi với tới anh.
But he can still put the pressure on by feeding these
waves. Mình nó biết chừng như thế mình nó lại nu mình nó biết chừng như reset sân máu chiêm
so at that point, I mean, we're the 14-minute mark where you you had that damage, but you're still squishy at the end of the day. Flukio has gotten to the point where, hey, if you're not going to focus me, I'm actually tanky enough. I have that damage to kind of just make amends onto the back line. I'm able to find JD and Yulong and just make your life tough because you're so squishy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, if you take JD off, if you take Yulong off, that's a lot of damage already been taken off to the side of APG. And then PHY on the newer is always seeming to be a little bit of like a scaredy cat. He's like, oh, like, I'm the last one alive. Yeah. Don't come for me. And that's when Flukio just capitalized on that. But right now, looking to push this mid lane is ACT. And they've managed to bring back that gold lead.
Oh, the control. They found him on the boat. And then Dowhead is looking to get killed here. Oh, he was just sailing through the river, found out. But Shy gets picked off by JD. He's going to infinite fastness on back, but it's still 4-on-4. And Flukio still wants more. He tries to go for Yulong. The mirror domain staying alive. The Conductor of Souls kind of whiffed on that one, though.
Kind of whiffed. It could have been huge. We saw the potential with this player observation. But look at this now. JC1 on the global marksman doing a lot of damage. Still not enough. JD with the takedown.
Yeah, the Flaming Palm, just way too much damage. Unfortunately, support lives are, very squishy lives. And Orpson going down on that one. JD found him out, gets him back to safety with that dragon. But APG right now, this is the attack they want to find. They go for Saber. That's a squishy one for their own. But now Yulong trying to find JC1, not able to draw a beat on him. He's trying to mirror domain, trying to zig and zag, but JD gets picked off. Flukio finds him.
Switch right there. It's kind of like a cartoon where you see the bird flying around his head. Like Jing had him dazed. Luckily for the side of APG, Yulong stayed alive. That gold lead is getting pretty much neck and neck. Could we be seeing a Tempest Dragon game, first game of the day?
I mean, not only that, look, it could potentially be there. ACT has clawed their way back. Things were looking very rough. Again, they don't have a single tower to their name other than the crystal, right? So at the end of the day, they've somehow survived. They need to be careful about where the creeps are at a moment's notice, but they have a potential to come back.
It's the PH team's fighting spirits, right? I mean, we saw this in season 3.
Sunsi cho lươn phong, Sunsi cho cái trăm Sunsi cho cái việc đó cho ball liền là hold.
And took the fight to Gen G. ACT still looking very strong.
I think it's funny that you're like, hey, the fighting spirit of the Philippines
from season 3. We saw two Philippines teams play yesterday. You know the fighting spirit then?
This is their last home. They've got a long way to bear on their shoulders, so I'm giving it to ACT right now. But 6 slotted is going to be the ominous premonition, which is going to make it very difficult for the likes of Yulong, the likes of JD, to get out of those team fights.
I mean, look, he's 8-1-0, Flukio, right? Just an absolute beast. He is that raid boss. How did they deal with him? APG lineups kind of on the squishier side. Yeah, they have a lot of high damage, but they don't really have the sustain to fight a long, drawn-out fight.
Flow bay mình hay với chi tụ bọc vô đây lại nó lại với khinh bạc đó nó khổ mà nè. Còn giới tiết chi tụ bọc là để chi tụ bóng nó khơi liền nó liền đặt bay qua đấy.
Byron, we see Switch having to go there just to keep that crystal not taking any damage.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Flukio is just like, hey, I got you, bros. Like, I don't care how many towers we have at the end of the day. I'm gonna find ways to get back in this game and carry it. He has been so strong, and APG are scared because they don't have an answer to Flukio.
Yeah, they've got to be careful of how they manage these team fights, right? I mean, we saw there the emergence being used to try and fluke out the Flukio, but it wasn't quite enough. He used the second skill of Augur there just to try and get him out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is for APG to not really take a 5-man deathball fight, but to kind of split push. But you use the waves to your advantage. They're going to be constantly pushing. So he did a stutter step, and he actually got it off. He has to go golden shy, that is. Here's the infinite fastness. The box not actually connecting.